And it comes another challenge in the barrel industry. So we like to be disruptive. This is the only way to wake up the industry, to make the conscious thinking, and actually to be in the evolution, to be Darwinist. Otherwise, we will not survive. There is a company who did that in the core of the establishment of the beer. Now, let's say, I don't know, Burgundy is the sanctuary for wine. Let's say Edinburgh is the sanctuary for whiskey. But how about Brussels and the beer? So Brussels Beer Project made it in a blast. You know, I think same than many of our stories, they went so quick to make the Blitzkrieg, blam, and the Trojan horse in such a conservative system, but they were so quick and so precise that actually I think that the first part of the war, they win it already. So give a big applause to Jordan Keeper, David Santos. Sorry, Dave, but you have to come, whatever you think. Not, but yes. So Jordan, master blender, Dave, master brewer. What a team. And all together. Come on, buddy. So I'm very, very happy to have my bro with me. Well, we have one side of the Atlantic, we have the other side of the Atlantic, and a little French in the middle. So, well, the first time we decided to cross over to the US, back to the US to meet with Stace, with Patrick, and say, well, thanks the US because you show me the way. You killed the shy boy, and now I'm proud, and now I can come back to Europe and say, well, we have something new. When I came back, I mean, I see you were just taking your position at Brussels as Captain Bar, and we were in the Dansert, because at the time, Dansert was the headquarters, so we were almost in the kitchen, and there were Thiago from Beavertown, and Thiago, he was coming also, and I was leaving to the US because I didn't have the money to cross over with Air France in first class, so I said, well, okay, I make a stop with Brussels, they give me a flight ticket, a good, so that was the story. I stopped to the neighbor, Cantillon. I was very friendly, very respectful, but I was still hungry. And we met. And he told me about his vision and what they want to do there, and that they will take the risk to play with the barrel from the day one, and from his day one also, which was a big risk. And so I traveled the US for, well, what is my visa authorization? 90 days, huh? Something like this. Huh? You still don't allow me for more. Huh? You're right, because I will make the place crazy. So anyway, 90 days after, he made his order when I was traveling. The barrel was there, and they were already filling. And that was the beginning of the fantastic journey of the barrel age program of Brussels Beer Project. And I was in New York again, so yeah, voila. And then Jordan came, because the Symphony from 3-4 instrument became a 400 instrument, I don't know. And this guy is another crazy, because he has the word to bring, what's it? We have, how many feathers now? 10. Yeah, 10 feathers, 20 egg, in an antique cellar of Brussels, just to show that impossible is not Belgian, not French this time. And say, well, this is the door. The door is like the toilet door. You have to make it. Yeah, voila. Well, and so we made it. This is for you.
Working? Yeah. Just a little introduction. Like Alex said, I'm the creative lead of Brussels Beer Project, and I've been brewing there for 5 years, where Jordan is now. I'm now taking the lead in a new production facility, but we had this dream that Alex helped us to make. We started in 2013 as contract brewers, just sending recipes to other breweries to brew our recipes. In 2015, we opened our first brewery where we were doing clean beer still, in a very controlled way. And we always have a few pillars from where we follow, which is creativity, collaboration, impact, and the impact is in a lot of ways. Impact in our community, impact in the way of making beer, impact of disrupting such a traditional country in terms of beer. So in 2019, we were ready to open our new brewery that is now operating, and we were ready to make this awesome journey that Jordan will talk about. So I'll round it off applause to Jordan, and go ahead.
Well, Brussels Beer Project, like David said, started in 2013 and started with a Belgian guy and a French guy that came together, and they have some really intense, awesome energy. They're a young company, we're a dynamic company, we're always looking for something new, something fun. We're looking for where the boundaries are and how we can push them. And I was very fortunate to be able to join the company in 2019 at the very end of the year to begin a new lambic production. This, well, that's not a slide. Somewhere there's a slide. Oh my, all right, anyway. In January of 2020, we began new lambic production in Brussels, in the center of the city, and we, in one fell swoop, doubled the number of producers of lambic in Brussels from 1 to 2. This was actually a pattern that Brussels Beer Project had followed. If you think about craft brewers, Brussels Beer Project was really the second craft brewery in Brussels. When they opened the brewery in 2015, there was only one other real craft brewery in operation at the time. So I have the opportunity to reimagine what lambic could be, and think about what flavors we can really produce with this historical method of brewing. Very quickly, lambic is beer that is made through a complex mashing process that uses aged hops, that it undergoes a slow cooling overnight in an open vessel called a coolship, and then we do spontaneous fermentation in barrels in wood. And this fermentation can go from 1 year to 3 years. There are some lambic brewers that are even doing fermentations up to 5 years long. So yeah, we were able to take a couple steps back and say, okay, we have a brand new production, what do we want to do? Which is a really unique opportunity, and I feel super fortunate to be able to do that. We said, well, the traditional recipe says that we need to have malted barley and unmalted wheat, and I said, well, you know what? Lambic, I think, should be round, should be creamy. Lambic is a beer that has some acidity to it, and you need something to complement that. And so we decided to include a small addition of flaked oats into our recipe as well. We looked at our barley that makes up, right here, I'm on it. We looked at our barley that makes up a large portion of the mash, and we said, okay, what can we do with this? We started working with a small cooperative that is growing barley in a regenerative way, using regenerative agricultural techniques. This is actually a carbon positive process, which is super, super cool. We asked to do a custom malting also on this barley, so that the barley itself is less modified than it would be otherwise. And this is really allowing for a more complex complex range of sugars that are available for this very long, slow, spontaneous fermentation. So in addition to all of that complexity, we have a vast array of barrels in our cellar. Thanks to Alex, we have Neoc, but we have Porto, and we have Muscatel, and we've got really so many others, but the most exciting thing for me are these foeders that Alex was talking about. So these are 2,000-liter oak vessels. We move them in literally one stave at a time, and we installed 10 of them in the cellar in December of 2020. And by January, just 2 weeks later, we were filling them up with lambic. Ah, there we go. Let's see if I can get some slides on this. Hey, there we go. This is the map on the wall. Alex talked about selling wine and showing regions. Well, this is Brussels, and you see the Peyottenland there on the map. So that is the traditional region for lambic, and Brussels sits right there on the edge of it. And this is where the microbes that are responsible for spontaneous fermentation in lambic are coming from. So these are ambient yeast and bacteria that live in the air that allows us to inoculate our wort spontaneously. And create flavors that are unique to our region, to our brewery, and really, it's a really special thing to be able to have not only products that come from the earth, but products that are influenced by the air around us. And I feel like that's something that is really unique, that sets us apart. This is the brand new brewery that my colleague David works at. Building this brewery allowed us to take this smaller brewery that opened in 2015 and use that as a brewery that we can constantly push forward this idea of experimentation and innovation. So we've got a lot of beautiful IPAs that are helping to pay for some beers that take a very, very long time to make. So this is the front of the small brewery that I work at. Here is the Grand Place. This is in the center, in the heart of Brussels. So that is right around the turn of the century. Around that time, there were about 100 lambic producers in Brussels. Before we started our production, there was one in Brussels. And this was the start of our most recent lambic season. We went back to the Grand Place. We put our cool ship right in the middle, and we filled it up. This is really the beginning of a resurgence, of a renewed appreciation and a growth period for lambic in Belgium. We're seeing many other producers besides ourselves who have really drawn on this new appreciation for a historical product. It was something that was almost dead and now is really coming back in a huge, huge way. And it's incredibly exciting to be a part of all that. So this is the cellar that I was talking about. It's really not very big, and the ceiling is super low. And this posed some really specific challenges when we went to fill this space up with foeders and barrels. I think Alex and I had a lot of calls and a lot of head scratching to figure out what we were going to do to put these vessels in there. But we were able to eventually figure it out. And this is really what happened. I mean, we had foeders that arrived just in pieces, and one piece at a time, we put them together. And we put together this whole lambic program really like this. No, yeah. Alex and his whole team, they came for a week, and it was a really, really special time. It was on Alex's birthday, and it was just. Yeah, it was just before Christmas. Everybody was still nervous about COVID and eager to get back to their families, but they did such a fantastic job to start off this new really special cellar for us. And we started our second lambic season with these ex-grappa fooders. And so you'll have an opportunity to try some of the first products that came out of these fooders. So you really have this warmth, this grapefruit note from them. They're holding up super nicely. I was really impressed and amazed. From the very beginning, I knew that I wanted oval fooders. I knew I wanted something with spectacular character, and that's something that Alex can always deliver. Oval is fantastic. You know, we can reduce oxidation. We can due to surface area to volume ratios, but also reduce the headspace. So we got 8 of those bad boys, and they're really kicking out some awesome beers. We've used them for aging, for finishing, where we get the best results as far as getting nice grappa flavor. But we've also used them for primary fermentations, for spontaneous fermentation as well, and that's been really, really fun. So this is the team. Really, that's after most of the loud noises down in the cellar were done, but we're just lining them up right there. Yeah.
Look at the ceiling. You see the ceiling. So that crazy boy knows about the ceiling. I had no clue about it because you know that I'm quite, dyslexic thing. So figures are not really like you see it. And I mean, I realized after I say yes that there was just impossible mission, and that's why everybody say no, because there was just impossible to stand up the barrel vertical to bang the rings and reassemble the whole things. So mathematically, anybody intelligent will say no. So then again, we had to improvise something. And this is where that was so. It's also a new standard, I have to say, because we had to build. The idea was to build a burst, so bigger than the burst for standing. So that burst was going to be the building burst, where we were assembling the stave from central stave bottom to the bang hole, and this also I think brought a lot of things in the industry since then. Because we've seen the other cooperage using that technique now, and it works. Because on the top of 10 further, we had only one who was leaking, but that was not because of that technique. I think that was for other purpose. And wow, that was another demonstration of be innovative in the classic. And also. That's another crazy idea now is we want to reintroduce servicing cask, which is at the beginning English, but it has disappeared in England, so we're renewing side. But sorry, I don't want to disturb, but just...
Indeed, that's not something I had planned to talk about, but we can absolutely go there.
No, sorry.
So I love the cask tradition, and I think that lambic should be served on casks. We've ordered some small wooden casks for our bars, in a couple of months, definitely come on by. We're going to have some really awesome lambic in casks at our location at Dansard. So this is the beginning of the season, like right after we had gotten our fooders up and running. We did our very first brews, and these are 2 chestnut fooders. The other 8 are grappa, and these were Alex's sleeping beauties. So chestnut we're using for, actually not for lambic, we're doing some mixed culture fermentation as well, which is a much broader term to describe lots of different kinds of fermentation involving many organisms. We have our own culture of yeast and bacteria that we use for mixed culture fermentation. I would say that spontaneous fermentation is one special case of mixed culture fermentation that involves just the ambient yeast and bacteria. But here, chestnut has a more open grain structure, and so maybe not as well designed, as well utilized for long aging, but great for fermentation, great for assembling blends, and those guys are doing really awesome things. So this is the next day after our very first brew, and that is our wort cooling in the cool ship there, and really just capturing all of the ambient microbes from our brewery. And within 2 weeks, we had fermentation that just took off, and so got a little yeasty cake sitting there. And then blending happens after that. So you'll all taste the result of some blends that we brought, and this is where a lot more of the art really comes into it, and one of my favorite parts of the process. It's not only blends of barrels. Actually, we're doing a lot with different fruit, and trying to see really how far we can go with it. My favorite project that we're working on right now is actually working with Japanese knotweed, which is one of the most economically damaging invasive species in the world. And it happens to taste a little bit like rhubarb, and it has some green apple and some fresh cut grass to it, but we're able to use that and essentially do a maceration and release a product that really could be so hurtful and take over and allow other plants to not be able to grow, and instead we can use it to create a product that is super delicious in the spirit of this innovation and finding something new and something fun to drink. This is one of the products that we brought to try. This is the Grappa Lambic that's going to show like the most clear link with these amazing fooders that Alex very kindly built into our tiny little space.
I think it's a fantastic also ambassador of, the barrel be the companion, the further be the companion of the drink, and not the Hulk dominated so much the drink that you feel you lose the character, the essence of what it is, the essence of what you want to demonstrate, especially when it's new and people need to learn. And thanks so much, because once again, with the high precision you work with, the beer can express. And it's very easy for us to set up the toasting, the selection of the wood to pair with that. But it's still very empiric, so we every day we learn and we enhance, and I think we are in a long program now, so voila.
Absolutely.
Thanks so much.
Thank you, Alex.
So I need this Belgium, don't lose, team to welcome very special member of our family. And I think she is the first mob in our community. She was the first lady to be a knight as a master of barrel, because she was bringing to us so much hope in such humble way. And as she said, well, I'm not only Sophie, there is a whole team behind me, but I'm just talking for the team. So I would like you to give a big welcome, very warm, to so humble Sophie from Leuven University. And also, please, where are you? Madame Fermentis, where are you? I would like you to come as well. So Fermentis has been also the companion of our journey in so many research and exploration. So, and it's the core of Belgium and the classic. So please make a big welcome to their team. Sophie, Evelyn. So Sophie is from the University of Leuven. She will introduce her program. Evelyn is leading the research for Fermentis, and she will tell also, after Sophie, a little bit about another crazy barrel experimentation we're doing right now. We let the science to speak now. Thank